What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and we are in a crazy down day today. Wouldn't say out of nowhere, but nearly down 3% or 2.7% to be precise. And I kind of just wanted to do a quick live stream to kind of have people calm down in the sense of just take a couple steps back. I'm pretty sure everyone kind of woke up this morning and saw a sea of red in a lot of their overall portfolio positions. Seeing a lot of tickers red on the side of your screen here or side of your panel is not the funnest and most adventurous thing to ever happened, but things like this happen, so you can take this opportunity as a potentially like, hey, I went too long and I just I bit off more than I could chew with options or stocks or whatever, or you can just be like, okay, this is start be careful where I'm looking to buy some more stock or I need to kind of level off thing. Let's go ahead and get up and running here. Let's go ahead and see my screen now. Okay, questions already coming in. Tesla pulling back up by tomorrow. Totally piggy, I don't know, I can't predict that, but I did sell some Tesla puts. I sold a lot yesterday, glad I did. Yes, very good advice. It's there was a lot of opportunity, a little frothiness. As we saw a lot of capitulation with the S&P 500 or the futures around this 21 exponential moving average. We kind of gapped down pretty strong today, and again, that selling continued throughout the morning, and I thought the bottom would be in place around 130. We kind of saw some bouncing around here, but now kind of just trying to see if we can hold this 34 exponential moving average on the daily chart. So that's my line in the sand here right now. If it starts breaking the 34 exponential moving average, which is around 302, the next downside potential is going to be around like the 296. So that's quite of a drop from there. That's basically down nearly well over 5.5 to 6% if we get down to that level, but I am still seeing that the parabolic SAR is still below the ticks. We also see the 50-day trying to cross through the 200, which is also a great effect to that. Thank you for watching the videos. Tesla, everything will Tesla. I thought some Facebook calls today. Yeah, so this is, if you're interested in a lot of option stuff, this is the time to buy things, because if you have a lot of stocks, like you have Adobe being down $11 today, nearly $12. This is again been a high flyer, and yes, it could be continually going down, yes, but it's coming into this very first line of support here around 430 here, 429. Again, if it starts continue going lower and start breaking below the 8, this is nothing out of the ordinary. If we had a huge gap down, if this continues, that's when the bleeding continues. That's when it's a tale of worsening. So especially if you look at something like Adobe, if you start seeing it get down to the 21, like the 406 level, that's when you should be getting worried in the sense of potential of this trend changing. Everything is still intact. You see the 5, 8, 21, 34, and 50 are still intact. Like, you shouldn't be too cray right now on the overall market. Like, there's just a slight correction, and again, a lot of this selling has been intraday, so if you're looking on a daily chart, this is kind of just a small bump of the road, lack of better words. And Predator August bought some FB calls today, 440. And August, you said August 20, yeah. So you gave yourself plenty of time. Again, with Facebook analysis here, we can kind of look here that it's kind of broken the 5 and 8, but we saw that the 21 has been some downside holding here. Again, we've seen this gap down before, or this large selling again. FB is down a little bit more than the overall market. They're down nearly 3.5%, but I think that was due to that it has been running up quite a bit. It literally made an all-time high just yesterday, so a lot of people are just going to be taking that simple, easy profit that they had, and I think this is a lot of what people are looking at. People are just getting out, and I think in the full spectrum of things that Facebook will potentially hold this 21, which would be around 230. If it doesn't hold, we know the next level is going to be around the 34, which is around 226, 225. Again, we can't run out the door and start selling everything and things like that on the first particular down move, because this is what weak hands and you can get washed out. So this is where I would get, back in the day, I would just get washed out of like, oh no, everything's down, I need to go and sell, and then it just washes me out, and then I'm not able to complete selling going to the upside. Yeah, this is live, yes. Jason SPY calls. So if you're in the Discord, I did buy some small nibble of SPY calls. Where did I post that? I can show it to you. I didn't say I was going to buy it, but I was looking at, I said here, it says going to check back around 130 EST for maybe to buy some calls. And this calls I was talking about were SPY. That being said, did nibble on some SPY 305s, 300, no, I did deeper than money. I did 300 calls that are expiring like 12 to 14 days from now. So the thought process there, we can kind of go back to the S&P 500. Again, that's going to be a lot of people's movement here. I don't like to do trading a lot of stuff intraday. We'll see what's going on. So what my overall capitulation is, if you look here on S&P 500, the first 30 minutes is always the most emotional. But that emotions can continue to drain lower into the day. And this is where it comes down to just knowing your time frames, knowing what's kind of going on in the overall market. Kick Solid, thank you, man. I use Thinkorswim is the software that you're currently looking at. It's via TD Ameritrade account. That being said, we can look at, again, those time frames matter everything. So everyone knows who trades in the U.S. or even outside the U.S. that we open up at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You get a lot of volume coming into that day, and it usually dies off around 10:30, which is be right about here. But you have to also understand that the European markets close around 11. So that usually can drive it continue going lower. So people are trying to get into the market, short the market around that same time, and that is further selling. And even if it's continue going down, again, this is a 15-minute chart, we see it just hugging the 5 and 8 all the way down. Usually doing air quotes, things can kind of level off a little bit around 12:30. Lack of better words, I've been saying that a lot, where people kind of gain their senses, figure out where the footing is and things like that intraday, and you kind of see this kind of a rebound here. I thought this rebound would continue at least to the 21 and then kind of bounce around some more. It really didn't quite do that. It kind of got to the VWAP, I believe, on another chart, kind of failing here multiple times. But that being said, we're seeing that it kind of came back up. And the reason I wanted to come back around 130 is that's when the hedge funds do all their calculating. They figure out what's going on, put their thinking caps on, their math hats, to figure out what the next move is and what they should be buying and so forth. So usually around anywhere from like 1:30 to 2 o'clock, you'll see some buyers coming in. You'll see some of the shorts being let off, and you kind of saw that here. So when I kind of saw these candlesticks down here kind of bouncing off the parabolic SAR dots here again, this is on the 15-minute chart, you saw it kind of start breaking out, trying to break out again, trying on trading sideways. We'll see on how if some more volume can kind of come in between the hours of now to close. Potentially could fail here at the 305 and kind of just honestly do a quick sell-off, potentially back down to 303 or even lower to kind of get out of those weak hands and potentially see what happens tomorrow. That being said, I really don't want to hold these too long. Potentially would like to get out here pretty fast, just to be considering this very quick turnaround day trade there for me for SPY. So hopefully that made it put some sense into what like the time frames are. So again, to the time frame. So between the hours of 1500 to 1600 or 3 to 4, there is no other equity exchange market open in the world. It's just the U.S. market, and that's where you're going to see a lot of more volume coming in. Again, that could be firms, that could be algorithmic trading, all kinds of things. So just be mindful of that. So that's when you start getting huge spikes up and down on more people trying to, again, placing their bets, playing the fun guessing game of where the market's going to end up, things like that. So you start seeing a lot of movement in there. So let's go back to the daily chart here. Again, we're still holding that 34, so it's nothing to go crazy about and be fearful of as of right now. As we initially looked at, even with this whole first gap down we had about a week ago, we can kind of see this kind of trading sideways, kind of grinding lower, potentially getting back down to the 200-day here as well. But what we really want to see is that 50-day start crossing through the 21 for some ongoing push and momentum within the overall market. So again, some really great companies that are just doing just fine is Zoom. Like the work from home stuff is still in play. Like the pandemic stocks, the different various. So I actually made a list of what did I call it? I think I called it work from home pandemic list. So these are all my different various ones, and let's see which ones are up. Yeah, so you still got Chipotle, ZM, and Peloton. Peloton literally making an all-time high today. Like comparing to that, oh, welcome, thank you, man. I don't know how to say Jacqueline. Did I say that right, Jacqueline? Thank you, my friend, through the explanation. Yeah, just hopefully if you have any questions, drop it in the Discord or in the chat right now. So I'm really here to kind of educate people, give people some of the stuff that I wish I had when I started trading, because it's good to make mistakes, and I hate to say it, when you lose money, when you make those mistakes, it burns a little harder. So that being said, that really ingrains that trauma in your brain to not to do that again, in lack of a better words. So the companies like these stay-at-home plays, that your Etsy's, your Oktas, your anything kind of with that work-from-home mentality or people not leaving their house kind of thing, they're really coming into play here in the sense of being super, not really going down again. Like you have Chipotle, it's been really hovering around here, around the 21 exponential moving average. They do have earnings coming out on basically a month from now. It seems just around the corner, but this is going to be a pretty particular play of like, if it can stay above the 21, this thing is looking like it's going to be just trading sideways and just looking for the next leg higher. We do have a squeeze on that. The volume and RSI has been kind of flat. We need to start seeing the volume oscillator down here to kind of start kicking up, potentially to try to test that previous high of 1087 here to continue flying higher, potentially. Again, the parabolic SAR's dots are still below, so there's nothing. This is just trading sideways with the overall market. With the overall market being down nearly 3-ish%. Am I right? Yeah, 3-ish%, 2.5%. That we are still just kind of trading nominal in this kind of company, and that goes same with Zoom, making an all-time high today, and same with Peloton. These are it's hard to buy into these stocks right now, and in theory, I can't do it as myself. But these are the stocks that are just performing well, and yeah, let's look at some other ones ahead on here, like Nvidia. Like, if Nvidia gets back down to like 360, I kind of want to 360. Actually, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative, around 350. If it ever gets down to 350, I need to add it. Since I'm pretty, I won't say heavily into AMD, but it's a great stock there as well. I'm an AMD. I have sold some puts. Even on Amazon, it literally made an all-time high today after it started selling off a little bit. Normally, a lot of stocks do kind of sell off slightly due to the fact of the overall market making an all-time high and people just kind of taking profits and things like that. Again, we talked about it on the previous live stream with the RSI getting very high in Amazon and the volume oscillator kind of coming off again. You kind of see that today, potentially coming back down to this lower end of the box. It's around the 2690, potentially to the 2680-ish level, potentially to kind of hold those levels there. Another stock that I purchased today, is I sold some puts, is Apple. Again, it was down further than it was today. It kind of touched this the 5 exponential moving average, and I just sold some. I think I sold like the 340, 345 puts, expiring 30 days from now-ish, 25 days, I think, whatever the monthly one is, and just collecting that premium. Do I think Apple can come back down to 340? Yes, but that I'm playing the numbers. I'm using the numbers for me, and with using the charts between. Apple has not proven to me yet that it's breaking below the 5 and 8 exponential moving average. Do I think it can happen? Yeah, but I don't have a crystal ball. And do I also think it can go higher? Yes. So you're kind of in that weird place of like, you have to really take your emotions out of it and just look at the chart. For me, I'm speaking for myself, and hopefully this helps other people, that I have to take the emotions out of it. I'm not seeing this crazy end of the world scenario that other people or the things you see on Reddit or even the CNBC or whatever thing. Like, the world's not falling apart, lack of a better words, in the sense of there are some crazy issues going on in the world, which this is not a political channel, but it's kind of just filling this gap that it had up here. There's nothing really to write home about. Like, this is just some pretty intense intraday selling, a lack of a better words, nothing really to panic about. And panic is never a good thing when you're trying to sell stocks, because your emotions just going to take over and so forth. 1184923. God, I love that name. That is so great. I lost $462. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's never fun to lose money. I know the feeling. It looks like SPY is really trying to come back. We're looking for around that 307 level. I don't think many people made money today. 1189423. I think a lot of people added positions, and I think there's maybe a small handful of people who had were short the overall market, and they're probably doing pretty good today, or they had a hedge in place that kind of helped the overall downside. But I don't think a lot of people made money today. Again, I don't plan to make money every single day. I just wanted to make it over a longer term. So there'd be down days. Like, if I look at my account, like, a lot of my positions, not the overall open P&L is not lower, but the daily P&L is lower. And when you look on the sidelines, you see all that red here, and that's never really fun to see. All right, looks like we're trying to break above that 305 level, which we talked about here, to try to, looks like we're kind of getting some little hard-headedness from there. I made a 1400 from Hertz. Nice, really? What are they doing today? I haven't looked at that sucker. And, let's go back to daily. A lot of people traded that sucker. Wow, that had a huge pop-up today to $2.41. It's up actually 30% today. Oh my gosh. This is where I don't understand. Like, I must look at the news again. This thing, it really needs to start breaking out if it wants to get higher. I don't think it's going to get above 215 and close above 215. Even though, yes, it's literally a dollar stock, $1.65. A move from 127 to $1.50, $1.53 is 30%. So this is, again, you can see the enormous amount of volume coming in today. This is, I wonder, did they do another offering? Kicks? Did they do an offering or thing? I thought that was denied. Yeah, I can't. I think it's the smart thing to stay away from it, unless you want to be literally just kind of going in there and kind of getting in and out of it with some very scalpy trades. I don't like to do that because I'm not good at scalping trades, and I'm not good at doing very short-term intraday stuff because there's just too much volume in there. It's just like it's like going out for Black Friday shopping. It's just, I know there's great deals out there. I know I could get great things, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't like crowds, and I like to stay at home and just order from Amazon. I think it's a pretty good explanation. That's what day trading is. It's like running into a very crowded mall, which yeah. Oh, they sold a bunch of cars. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you guys watched one of my first Hertz videos where I was like, if they just unloaded their cars at like a very steep discount, they probably could make bank in the sense of, like, if you look at some of their cars that they were selling at, it was like a 2019 or 2020 Nissan Altima that had like 25,000 miles on it, and they were selling it for like 20 some odd K. I'm like, really? Like, it's a used car. Like, it blows my mind. Yeah, so it sounds like what you did, Kicks, in the sense of really trading that really high velocity and volume coming in the first 30 minutes of trading. I just, again, I don't have the fortitude or the cojones to do that. So kudos to you. Just be very careful. Manage your risk very well, and stick to your max loss very strictly, because that's how you stay in the game a long time. That's actually for long-term investing too. Is like, if you set a goal of like, hey, if I lose 3% on this trade, or 5%, or whatever your goal is, you got to get out. You got to get out no matter what. No siree, Bob. Who is the someone is don't just leave, please. You in here? I don't know your name on YouTube, actually. So he actually threw to me the idea of McCormick. If you're familiar with McCormick, they have all different kind of various spices and different things. Again, more people are staying at home, cooking, things like that. They have earnings after the bell today. I took a very small size on this one. Again, bell's in about 40 minutes. Very small size, looking for, I think I sold the 166, 165 put. Again, playing it very small, potentially for a higher price, but again, it could come down to this level, but it needs to stay above it because my options, because I'm selling it. A-Town, can you please look at W? Tell me what you think. Sure, my friend. Let's give me a quick second here. Get W for you. So W is actually part of my work from home pandemic list here, because again, more people are getting used to doing new things, aka Zoom, aka getting a Peloton, aka ordering food from Chipotle, aka all those kind of things. And I think Wayfair really falls into that. Since Wayfair had it was this blowout quarter, and then continued trading higher, coming back down to the 21, kind of hugging it, giving it a kiss and saying goodbye, and they continue just riding it up. As of right now, I know it's down nearly about as much as the market. There is no very strict sign, because the 5 and 8 it's still within that very high momentum there, A-Town. So again, if you're looking here on the daily chart, there isn't really a strong get out of Dodge yet. It starts breaking below the 193, and if it starts getting to 187, if it doesn't hold the 187, as you can see it multiple times. So I usually, in my daily sign, I look for the close of things. So if it closes below 21, that could be a reset of things. But this thing has been just super strong. Again, kind of going above and beyond the overall market and beating in the benchmarks there. It just has been a really strong horse. But yes, it hit an all-time high just 2 days ago. Again, this could just be a little bit of selling, getting out here, because there's not too much volume here. I would like to see on how it does the next 2 or 3 days, potentially seeing if this momentum can change here, because again, a switch from dark to light, or light to dark, as you can see here, doesn't mean that's going to become crashing down. Other things need to kind of come into play, like the RSI has not fully extended. It's pretty high at 62, but it's not at the levels that we saw up here after the quarter. The other concerning thing slightly here is the volume oscillator again. That could be due to the fact of the overall market being down. The overall market being down, just kind of being dragged down with the overall market, because that's usually what happens. Just be mindful of that. If it starts closing below and starts switching the parabolic SAR, I would try to trim the position potentially and things like that. I bought 20 options expiring 7/2. Ooh, you didn't give yourself that much time at 210 strike price. Oh, 210? Okay, so that's in the money then, right? Oh, 210. Okay, so it's right up here. So 210. So you bought the 210. So it's okay. So it's, you still have, okay. So 8 days, and it's about $20 plus or minus where we're currently at. So it's $20 plus or minus. So that's $220 down to basically the price target here, potentially where it could go. I don't like parking my money, Johnny Bravo. I like to park my money as this cash settle, because you never know. I don't know what Q. We can take a looky. I don't know much about dividend stocks, and I don't like to keep up with it. Yeah, it kind of dropped from 24 to 17, but I wouldn't. Yeah, this looks interesting. Doesn't look bad. It looks like it's just been trading with the 21 and 34. So yeah, I think that trend could continue again. We kind of have a squeeze indication here. RSI and volume oscillator kind of sold off, but again, if we can close slightly above the 21 or even between the 21 and 34, and we kind of need the parabolic SAR to switch again, then we could see some great process there. Makeshift player, what up, man? What up with BBS? BBS? Did I write that? You write that? I don't see BBS. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Could you please give your thoughts on SPOT? I'm holding puts. Spot. Is that Spotify? Well, this one, of course, yeah. This is the one that, like, Joe Rogan signed a deal, and then they signed a deal with what's the other person's name? The Kim Kardashian lady. Oh, it's a monthly dividend, 11%. Wow, that's wonderful, Johnny Bravo. Really? 11% dividend? But, so, that being said, looking here on Spot, if you got some puts on this, again, this thing has just been gone to the moon. It's kind of hitting the RSI oversold or overbought, and then the volume oscillator is really just honestly through the roof and hitting the roof. I'm not saying, again, hit an all-time high just yesterday. This could potentially be trading sideways. The momentum is still in there. The volume is still pretty keen. Again, this is trading substantial amount of volume just the past couple days. Potentially, first level of support is going to be coming around like the 230 level. What did you say? A particular option that you're buying? You just said you're holding puts. Yeah, depending on what your time frame is, like everything usually kind of trades sideways and can come down unless it gets the strength and continues going higher. With this one, let me look here on a larger time frame. Yeah, this thing is, I won't say overextended, but this looks like a potential it can trade sideways unless some more news comes out or they sign, I don't know, LeBron James for a basketball, or I don't know, Michael Jordan comes on and talks about life, and I don't even know. I don't know why I'm matching a bunch of basketball players. These huge wicks are just a lot of capitulation here. So initially, I could see it like with this quarter here, with this news. It lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Potentially start seeing this come down to the 5 or the 8. and then kind of trade sideways potentially and kind of wait for the moving averages to catch up. That would be what the chart's looking at to me for that particular move that we just talked about there. How do you feel about UCO long calls, Dave? UCO. Okay, why did it write UCO? Is this like crude oil? Ooh. Is this like one of those 3x kind of things? There's honestly not that much data that I can pull from here. It just really just trading sideways. It's so super tight in here. If I can get even in there, like gosh darn. Let me just break it down to like a 4-hour chart. Maybe I can see a little bit better there. Enhance. So yeah, that overall a lot of overhead resistance. It looks like it kind of failed here. The 5 and 8 are crossing through the 21 potentially. We could see this kind of level off here around the 25 potentially, even the 25 to 26 from its previous low here. But this kind of is falling just a kind of slowly grinding higher pattern. If they can start getting some more legs underneath it, potentially try to get back to that 21. But just be very careful with this one because I don't know if this is doesn't say on my Thinkorswim here what if this is a 3x movement vehicle thing. Normally don't like to mess with those guys. Comp 3000, snap calls. What are they down? Yeah, look, this is snap. This is fantastic. Like they don't give a rat's booty about anything here. They don't. What, they're like markets down? No, we're okay here. We're just gonna send pictures and delete them in 30 seconds or whatever happens. Again, hitting all-time high today. Had a little bit of sell-off again with the overall market pressure. Can you buy it up here? I wouldn't, but this overall trend is still intact. Again, that 5 and 8 exponential moving average being the very momentum-driven moving averages. So if it continues staying up there, the parabolic SAR really lines up with the 8 EMA here as well, so be very careful. It starts getting down to this level. If it doesn't hold it, we could potentially see a switch and start seeing some downside potentially to around $21, wherever the 21 kind of comes in there. I bought 235 and 210. What was that one? Oh, this is the spot. Okay. So you're still okay. You bought those puts. Okay, so they're okay. I see what you're saying. J&Dane has a vaccine news coming in July. Out of the money calls 821 161. Pretty dumb, but we'll see. Don't call yourself dumb. That's not cool. You're just new to this. Just be very careful with size though. J&J. So the stock doesn't look like they have great news, like to be straight. Potentially we're seeing it kind of trading below here. It kind of blew past, kind of hovered around the 200-day here for a little bit, kind of failed here trying to get above the 21. The parabolic SAR is still above, which is kind of giving it more downside potential. Potentially see if it can hold inner plus or minus 1% or 2% from the 200-day here, but the 5 and 8 are really kind of dragging it down, and it hasn't really closed above it. Looking for it, trying to break above 144.50. Potentially, you see here I have a price target to like 135. Doesn't mean it's going to get there, but we're seeing some volume oscillator going lower, RSI going lower, and the squeeze has fired with red, meaning some downside momentum and indication there. I could throw it on a weekly chart here too. So yeah, the 5 and 8 look like they're about to cross here. Again, we're seeing some. This is gonna be a difficult one. The switch hasn't really happened on the weekly side, so you still could be somewhat attacked. But on the daily side, it needs to kind of stay around the 200-day here as well. Thoughts on Apple and SPY for the rest of this week. Apple. Let's look at Apple. So Apple's one that I sold some puts in today. I think it was around when it got down to like the 5, I had an alert out. I just sold around the 340, 345 puts there to kind of collect some premium that are like 24 days out, whatever the monthly expiration is for next month. With Apple, the overall trend is still somewhat intact again, with the 5 and 8 exponential moving average really just holding everything here. This is just kind of a small speed bump for Apple, nothing to really write home about. It's kind of in its own little orbital projection, or did I say projection the right word? Movement, or its path. It doesn't really care what's going on with the overall market. Yes, it's being dragged down because it's connected to so many different ETFs, but I think if it really wasn't a huge component in the Dow and so many different ETFs in SPY, I think it could continue going higher. Comp 300. Yeah, I did stuff on Snap, didn't I? I did Snap. I said that it could I wouldn't buy it up here, and be mindful of that 8 EMA here with the parabolic SAR really lining up there. So if it starts breaking this, we could see potential low here at 21. Again, hitting all-time high today. It's an uncharted territory. We can do a fib here looking there. It hits the 1272, so this is quite interesting here. So the 1272 is also lined up with the 8 EMA, so this could be a very strong support around 2250. Potential test of 2650 here as well on the potential upside if those 5 and 8s and the overall movement continue going higher. Let's see, Matt, you had something else. Oh, SPY. Let's go look at SPY again, because what's the SPY is doing. So the SPY here again, it's kind of holding this the 34 here. This is what I kind of overall looked at. Again, once it really crossed through the 21, it just kind of like didn't even look at it. It was just a small speed bump and just kept on going. And now it's getting some warning signs here for some more buyers coming in potentially here at the 34. If this fails, which is around 302-ish, we could see it coming down to the 297 here potentially again, but we do see the 50 simple moving average here on the red dotted line here to try to cross over the 200, which would be a nice little sign and some overall momentum to continue going higher. Makeshift play for EHPH. They had a good run, but also they hit rumors of cookbooks. Ooh, I don't like rumors. I don't like rumors. Don't give me rumors. Rumors. Let me look at the chart. Let's see. What was it again? ENPH. Yeah. Again, I have no idea what this does. But with the 5 and 8 crossing through the 21, and it's kind of trying to building a base here to continue going higher, but it's still above the 200-day, which is good. But in the short term, this looks like it could just be trading sideways and try to test the 21, as it tried to test it before, but then something happened here. I guess this is where you said the rumors were about some cooked books. That was a huge down sale there. But now it is kind of trading sideways there. It needs to really start getting above the 21, potentially some downward support around 37 there. Historic oil is cheap, and I remember the Great Recession of 08 didn't stop. +4 on gas, waiting to get into oil once it breaks 45. Yeah, I hear you. I just don't. It's not really a growth stock for me. Most of my portfolio is a lot of growth stuff. There is some really boring companies like Disney or Waste Management or what else do I have in there? I have like a CVS, I have Costco, Nike. What else do I have in there? I can't remember off the top of my head. My boring stuff, yeah. Also, can you see on QCOM? This is Qualcomm. So this is a really good play on 5G. Again, like, yeah, they're basically flat today. This looks really good chart here, Makeshift. So we are seeing, again, the parabolic SAR kind of still below it. We see the 21 really holding fairly well here with the 5 and 8 exponential moving averages. So you have the 5, 8, 21, 34, 50, 200. So it's a really nice little pattern here. Nothing too really to write home about in the sense of a sell-off, or even if it cares about the overall market, it doesn't really give a rat's you-know-what on that behalf. Let me take a quick drink of water. So looking at this overall trend, again, this is going to be a huge component within the 5G movement section. I kind of want to do a Fibonacci here. Yeah, so I was going to predict that this is around the 78.6 movement here. So literally $88 is a pretty interesting get-in point here. So I'm going to do, if this goes at or below here, I guess you could nibble in it slightly because it's at 89 right now, but I'm kind of a hard-headed for the numbers in the sense of it kind of holding this. It starts breaking below this level into the 21. This would be a really good time to kind of get your feet wet and potentially buy in there for this overall trend to kick higher. Again, I would be holding this personally for longer term, potentially seeing that 96 level and even higher to like 106 if this overall trend can continue going higher. So we can kind of look at that overall trend. Again, all the moving averages have crossed the 200, so this is performing substantially better than a lot of other companies that we're currently looking at. Oh, they're under investigation right now? Yeah. So there's literally under investigation right now. I wouldn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Sunbro, was it smart to buy the dip? Depending where you bought the dip and where and what you bought the dip in. So if you bought the dip in whatever, like so looking again here for SPY, I purchased it some around 1:30 this afternoon. The 300 call that are expiring in 10 days. Looking for that upside to kind of get back to around 307 potentially. We can kind of look this at a little bit shorter time frame here. We are seeing some capitulation here. We are seeing a squeeze form on the 15-minute chart. We do like that. Potentially a nice kick into the close of the day. Again, we have less than 18 minutes left in the overall trading of today. So potentially seeing this kind of break above the 21, which would be fantastic to kind of continue this trend into tomorrow. But again, anything can happen overnight. People can switch things around. People can get scared out, things like that. But that being said, I'm a very optimistic person by nature, so I try to be. Again, I don't want to put my emotions into my trading, but if it starts breaking above the 305 level here on the 15-minute chart into the close, we could be seeing some potential stronger day tomorrow. Or if people are going to be overreacting, and I think that this overall thing was a little bit of an overreaction, we could be seeing some selling into early morning tomorrow and then kind of maybe level off around 11 to 12 p.m. I'm sorry, 11:30 to 12:30 p.m.-ish tomorrow to continue going higher. Yeah, looking for a small. Yeah, I think it's a great thing makeshift for that particular QCOM, because again, that's going to be, it's a very you build a thesis around a acknowledgement of something that could go great and something that really is going to help benefit so many different people. Like the movement into 5G is just going to really blow everyone's mind. There's going to be so many different things coming from that. You're very welcome. Lewis, any great day for trading SPY or Hertz? Yeah, we kind of did cover HTZ or Hertz earlier. Nothing to really report there. Again, we don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole due to the fact of it's basically a failing business. And yes, what I think someone posted that they're saying that they actually sold some cars and things like that. So whatever, like I still I don't want to touch it because even the enormous amount of volume that Hertz had, I don't want to touch it. For SPY, like we talked about, we bought a little bit of it around a little nibbling position around 130, and now it's kind of just been slowly grinding higher, kind of hitting some overhead resistance here on the 15-minute chart up here on the 21, the falling 21 here around 305. Potentially seeing how the overall day ends up. We'll see on how this overall trade kind of pans out. So we'll see moving from there. Sebastian, hey sir, did you take an AMD unusual options play at 55 call expiring at 626? 55. Oh, see, look, we're breaking out now. That's great. Keep on going, Bessie. So I might want to unlever my call here. Let's see what happens. So this is a little great. See, that squeeze is kicking up. Volume oscillator is trying to go higher. RSI is kicking higher. Another print here on the squeeze here. Potentially, if we can stay above the 21, look like we could even hit the 306 here level. That would be great for the long, for the good boys. Lewis, $1,300 today in Hertz. Holy moly, dude. You killed it. Awesome for you, man. Hopefully you take that money and get yourself a nice little gift and a reward for that. Yeah, you can make a lot of money. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's money to be made and everything. Give Lewis a big hand of applause, like at Lewis. Can I send you? Awesome. I guess I can just tell you, give you a shout out or kudos here while I'm talking, but I don't know why I had to write that in the chat. Yeah, makeshift. Yeah, Hertz was selling cars below market value. I wish I knew that. Like I could. Do they sell Teslas? I don't think they sell Teslas at Hertz. Okie dokie. So this is looking pretty strong. This into the close. Again, this could continue into the rest of the evening. I'm not going to be watching it too tightly because again, it's a super small position in SPY. But we'll see. Let's see, a couple AMD, someone Sebastian said, you said, Sebastian, so the 55 call expiring this week. 55 call, and right here. In the sense of, was it one of the, like, time and sales is one of the bigger orders here? We can take a looky-loo. 55 call. I'm not seeing anything kind of come up here on large. It looks like it's taking a little bit longer to kind of populate. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too crazy here on the time and sales that are on the 55. If you can expand a little bit there, Sebastian, on what you're talking about, that would be great. I'm seeing a lot of, looks like this is like a call spread here. And this is also a call spread. Looks like from two different trades, but again, this is like you're buying the 65 and then you're selling the 62 there. So that is in October. Okay, October. Did I read that right? October 16th. So they're like well, they could be buying the 62. Was it the 62 and they're selling this one, so it's basically doing a call spread for potential going up. Or if they think, again, those time and sale things you have to be super accurate with, and you just, I mean, they're not super accurate, meaning that they don't tell you what the person who's trading on the other side, what their thought process is or what they're thinking. So it's kind of just a little bit of a understanding and figuring out what's going on there. Let's go ahead and go back to SPY and see how that sucker is performing. We're continuing climbing higher. I kind of like this here. I might need to get out just to get there. Weeble made a post about AMD was top 5 unusual options play. Just wanted to see on your thought of it. Oh, okay. So again, there was a lot of open interest. Again, I think I can give you my analysis again. So I'm currently in AMD as well, and I love it. That being said, it's just been really just trading sideways, and it's been in this huge squeeze for such a long time. I don't like that the parabolic SAR has just switched it again today. Potentially, let's say it can go down. Anything can go down or up. But I have it on a pretty long. If it starts breaking below 50, that's when I have to start getting concerned. Since all the moving averages are just so tightly wound together right now, it's super difficult to it's gonna squeeze out, or it's gonna burst out either up or down. My bet is, a lot of my bets here for AMD, since this whole squeeze stuff is here, is just doing some iron condors, but they're slightly swayed to the long side. I don't like to see that today that this kind of happened, but the squeeze hasn't fired and the volume oscillator hasn't gone below 0, which is kind of good. So we just kind of need to see this kind of rebound into the end of the week. Oh, okay. So I guess CarMax, Avis might be buying their fleet. Yeah, it's what you basically have to do when you go bankrupt. If you got to start selling assets, because those bankers need their money. When I checked out my local Hertz, there wasn't any Teslas. Lots of SUVs and some muscle cars, though. Okay, nice. Watch Elon buy Hertz and rent Tesla. Who knows? He'll do something crazy like that. This has been a financial analyst. Okay. Webull had made a post about AMD. Yep. Okay. Kind of going through rental business is a huge when the economy comes up. When you say like a bought it or a dollar. Again, for Hertz, I don't want to touch with the 10-foot pole. That's just for me speaking. As you can see here, it looks like SPY is selling off into the close, kind of getting rid of those weak hands potentially. Look, this is usually what happens the last 10 minutes. People coming in, unwinding their positions, things like that. People covering their shorts, or people potentially trying to short into the market. So this could happen. This is a huge flurry of volume coming in again. Just the last 15 minutes, we had the same amount of volume that we've had for the past couple hours. And this is really just kind of dragging it down. See if it can stay above the 303 level. We could get a really kick back up to around this 305 level there. Sebastian, what's that? Especially Hertz has a 20 before pin-up. One question is, why do you put emojis over people's faces on the thumbnails? So what I reason to do that is I think it's funny, yes. That's the first thing. And then I just do it to protect the identity of the person behind it, because it's not just pulling various clips and things from different sites and things like that. I just don't want to ever be in a compromised position where, say, I expose someone's face for something that they didn't do. Like if I write whatever on it, these are public images of the NASDAQ or people trading and things like that. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of volume coming in here. We're going to see if this 303.56 can hold, kind of get like a rebound here. I think it will. Looking at the chart here, we have less than 8 minutes left of trading, but we'll see. Johnny Bravo, would you look at big lots? Do you sell options, Mike? Yes, I do. I sell most of my options. I sell premium. And then I do some longer take options, like I have some longer options in, I have some longer options in like, let's see here. What did I buy the other day? Like space. I have some longer dated options, things like that, and we'll see. So kind of see here that the parabolic SR kind of came in support, kind of slapped it around a little bit. This is going to capitulate a little bit. We could just see this continue going just a little bit sideways there. I wanted to look at big lots for you, my friend. And then also I did a very small trade in McCormick, and we'll look at that for a second too. Let's look at big. It's a cool ticker. Okay, so big, this is interesting. So this is kind of failing here, kind of closing below the 34. The 5 and 8 start crossing over. There aren't any earnings on the horizon. Volume oscillators getting lower. RSI's kind of steady there, but with the momentum and the squeeze here, this could be firing lower. So Johnny, be careful with this one. Even though it's not down as with the overall market, there's something else still going on here, because you can, I hate drawing lines, but we can do it anyways. This is kind of what I'm looking at here. Oh shoot, okay. This is just, actually, you know what, F that. I can just show you this here. This is just a downtrend right now. In the short term, in the sense of the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been a downtrend. We start seeing some breaks below 32 and potentially the 30, this could really just fall off. It needs to kind of break above 35, 65 in the short term to kind of break this trend and close above it multiple days. So this contraption can start trading sideways and potentially start going up. It looks like the SPY is really selling off here. Let's take a looky here. Again, getting those weak hands out. Yeah, so it still hasn't broken below this level, just kind of capitulating here. Again, with about 5 minutes left at the open. Yeah, USO had a reverse split. I don't want to really touch that ETF, honestly. Oh, you want it to come down so I can buy it back? Yeah, let's be mindful again with that big, where it was looking like it didn't have much support. If it starts crashing down, just be mindful of that on the daily chart, the one that I just initially did a quick analysis for you on. So the one, someone asked me the other day on what I was, McCormick. Let's do McCormick real fast. So we sold some puts in McCormick. So they report after earning, or after the close today. Here, sorry, they opened, before the market. So yeah, so the options I had to get in before, so they open up tomorrow AM to see how the numbers are. Believe I sold the 165. Yeah, I sold the 165 put. We'll see how it goes. It's a small position, but we'll see how that goes. Make sure, what's Jack in the Box ticker? I don't know the top of my head. Are you able to trade pre and after? Yes. Like, you can't do that with options. You can't trade options. Options are really strict in the sense you cannot trade them within a very certain finite window, which is again the 9:30 to 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Did you sell options by SPY? Any chance? I'm learning how selling options, and I've heard SPY is a good place to sell options. Yeah, SPY or the Qs, Mike, are a good place to sell and start trading options. Just make sure you don't, when you're selling options, you don't want to be nowhere near the in the money options. You want to be further on the wings of things. Without that, be careful with that. So I didn't sell any actually SPYs today. I actually bought some calls. Yeah, so Dave, a lot of those reverse or those ETFs that do those very high leverage stuff, they were in a pretty huge issue in the sense of once the oil market kind of crashed and had that weird issue of never thinking of a process of what happens if we have oil contracts left over and no one wants to buy them. Like, that was never thought of, and of course that happened, and it really kind of switched everything up and really put a huge damper on a wet towel on them. Oh, makeshift is, it's just Jack. Okay, I didn't know that one because I don't actually have a Jack in a Box here in Virginia, so I don't really see them around a lot. That's interesting. I like it. Just be mindful again. It's been really hugging this 200 exponential moving average. It's above the 21. It's just kind of trading sideways. We really need to see it start curving up with the volume and RSI getting higher, potentially with this parabolic SAR switching to the bottom. If you want to get into it around 70, just be mindful. Around 68, it starts closing below that with the 5 and 8 start crossing over. Just be, we'll see how it is. Kicks, yeah, so this is what I use for it's Thinkorswim, but what I normally use is to execute my trades is Tastyworks. So usually just execute my trades on this one within the options market in particular. It's really great. Oh, thank you. Make sure if you already beat me to it. Yeah, so just remember, if you're using Robinhood, I believe options are free in Robinhood, if I'm right. I'm not sure. Oh, there's the bell. Did it close up? Okay. It's weird that I didn't get executed there, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes. So, yeah, I think in options, why do I prefer Tasty? Well, Play-Doh, sorry, I had a laugh at your name, not at you, just at your name. Why do I use Tastyworks? 2 reasons. They are the folks that help me get into options because I follow the Tasty Trade. I learned a lot from their videos, especially on options and selling of options, and just really pounding the nail on my head and trying to be very careful and do the due diligence regarding selling options, and just completely understanding the science and the overall mathematics of options. So I have to give them kudos for that. And the reason behind it too is that within their options trading, so stock is trading out, sitting stock is free to open and close, but within options, you only pay for opening the order. When if you close the order, you don't pay the commission. You might pay a small, like 30 or 40 cents on some of the fees associated with the exchange or the route, but there isn't the I don't remember. I haven't looked at the metric here for Tasty or Thinkorswim. I think it's still like one leg is. I think it's still somewhat reliable or cheaper, but to close out the leg and things like that. But again, also Play-Doh that I am actually dyslexic and I'm very attuned to aesthetics. Again, being dyslexic, shapes and numbers look differently, and Tastyworks really speaks to the way my brain works. It's the layout and the UI is just really great. It just helps me do that. And then of course, Thinkorswim is just fantastic for me to chart and different things like that. And also, I'll share a story for Tastyworks. So I was short some Facebook long time ago. Let's see here. The thing is, you're not going to get into Tastyworks for the charting because it's I want to say it's terrible. It's not great. So I was short. Why is this like a 2-month chart? Daily. Let's go to like a 3-year. I believe it was in 08, maybe not. Let me pull it up over here. Like, see again, like I just don't like that system here. I'm just so used to Thinkorswim here. Let's do. Yeah, here it is. So it was in 2018. I was extremely short some Facebook. With the overall Tastyworks thing kind of crashed, and even though I was afraid that I was going to be out of money. Like this happens with Robinhood and other platforms, and sometimes they do good by it, but sometimes they don't. But Tastyworks did completely good by me, where I had an order to get out at a certain price. They honored it, and it was a pretty large position, because I just bought straight puts like an imbecile. So this is the story where I bought the $200 put 15 or 10 minutes before the close of this huge Facebook downturn, and that single put me into quadruple numbers there. It was a huge return for me. Like, it was like a 210 or 215. Again, it was trading at 211. So I bought that put, I believe, at maybe $250 to $300, and it ended up printing to well over 3,000 the following day. So like a 10x. Yeah, might be careful with this SPY. Like, again, SPY is going to be quite a lot of capitulation here after hours, without a doubt. Again, you're not going to be able to trade those options after hours and so forth. Let's see here. They only trade options, so okay. Yeah, so have you... Ken had insider knowledge. No, it was, yeah, I didn't have insider knowledge there. That was, yeah, no knowledge. Just really lucky. A little bit of skill and a lot of luck. Dave, did someone already say PGN? No, we can look at that one. PGNY. I don't know what this is, but this looks pretty interesting. Could be around the failing around the 50% retracement. Oh, yeah. So it's kind of here, right around the 50% retracement here on the parabolic SA, or Fibonacci retracements with the parabolic SAR just switching. So this is really trying to grind higher. I don't see any earnings in sight, but this thing looks fairly strong, honestly. Again, it's up 3% compared to being down 3%. Initially, if this can continue, it looks like it had a couple pop-ups before, then kind of fizzled down. Again, not sure what the overall company with this does, but looking for some closing above $26 and potentially getting to 28. That would be the next short-term target. If it can get above the 50-day here. If it can't, it's probably going to come back down, potentially trade sideways, and come back down to like 24, 23, like you kind of seen here where it kind of broke out. But it had a squeeze here to kind of help it push higher. There is a squeeze here building up as well, which is great. So when it goes from red to yellow, that doesn't kill a fellow. It can go from the yellow and then to the light blue, which could be an indication of the squeeze and momentum popping higher. So, yeah, just be mindful of that. Again, the 21. This literally has a lot of buyers or sellers around here on the 200-day. So if it comes back down to 22.86, because it looks like it has some pretty stark declines again here, pretty large candles here. So be mindful of that. Looks like it kind of, again, today is a hard day to kind of compare it though, but it's been really just been fine. Oh, it's a temp office? Okay, that's interesting. Kicks, my name is Ken. Nice. I think it's a great name. Do you know what Kenneth actually means? It means handsome in Latin, so you handsome fellow. Alright folks, I think we're going to call it here. I'm going to go get some physical activity by just walking outside in circles to get that physical checkbox checked off for myself today. If you guys have any comments or questions, you guys, I have a video coming out, I believe at 5, so in about an hour. It was about, I'll give you a little sneak peeky. It's about the overall potential ban of, what am I looking for here? Oh, love. There we go. I had a brain fart. of the overall ban, potentially the ban of or U.S. travelers to the EU. They're looking at banning the Brazil as also with Russia due to the overall how we dealt with the pandemic. Anywho, that being said, this is going to be a play on. I'm not a fan of the airline business at all. This really has to kind of come down and start breaking some key levels. If I would even want to think about getting a position and just really dipping my toes into this, it would have to get well below the $31 to $30 level, kind of where this gap is, where we kind of talked about potentially getting at these like $30 level, but again, with the overall understanding of people potentially, instead of being flying out of the country for the next 6 to 8 months, they're going to be spending their time inside the country and doing very smaller flights between cities and just really experiencing the beautifulness of what the United States can offer with its vast amount of things to do. So again, this chart does not look great. The 5 and 8 is potentially can cross to the 21 again, being down nearly 7% today, potentially coming down to the 34 for support, which we've kind of seen before. I would like to see it lower if I wanted to buy into the position. Again, it does have earnings in about a month, so be mindful of that, and so see how that plays out. All right, guys. Thanks again for everyone for coming out. I love doing these live streams here to kind of educate people. I know I ramble about things and start talking about random things that people probably have no clue what I'm saying, but again, I do really appreciate the support in coming out, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. All right, guys, stay safe. Peace.